Hello, everyone, and we are live with the Criminally Mental Podcast. My name is Cody, or Schizophrenic Hippie.
My name is Zachary PogChamp Galloway. Oh my gosh, I almost said Galloway. Galloway. Oh, that hurts. Okay, and here to introduce the show is our good friend and the host of the VT Network, Deadman.
Thank you for that introduction, Gallowop.
God damn it.
Welcome to the Criminally Mental Podcast, where we talk about mental health and the criminal justice system, with your two hosts, Cody Green and Zach Galloway, currently both on parole and compassionate release. Now, here's the show.
Sometimes at night when I can't sleep, I actually just listen to his podcast just for that voice.
Do you?
I'm just saying. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
He has a very nice voice, and you can tell how nice it is because every single podcast we do, you need to talk about it for an extensive amount of time, which I get. I think it shows how nice his voice is.
It's an amazing voice, and frankly, I'm upset that you didn't want to pay him for this. Because he's a professional. Yeah, that was not a cool thing. You did not, sir. I was like, hey, we need to pay Deadman. And you're like, you better not. And that's pretty much how it went, I think.
Okay. Sure. I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but I do want to give a shout out to Jessica Kent, who just posted a comment and said, Team Cody.
Please don't block me, Zach. Yeah. I see how it is. That's cool.
So, Zach, some big stuff happened this week. Do you want to talk about it, or should I?
Yeah. Totally big stuff happened, but why don't you talk about it? Because I've already spoken.
Here, let me just take this for you, Zach. This week, Zach hit 1 million followers, and that's awesome. Yeah. And I know he doesn't like talking about himself, but seriously, dude, that is so cool. And I also just hit 500,000, so 500,000. So you might say that we're kind of blowing up.
We're kind of a big deal. Let's put that on the table. But in all reality, bro, you blew up so fast. That was crazy. That was really crazy.
For those of you who don't know, I had a video go viral last week. I was having a hallucination, and someone commented that there was someone behind me, and I was using my phone to check to see if someone was behind me, and it freaked me out so bad that I started crying, and I posted a video, and it got 1.5 million views in the past 4 days. And so with that, I started being able to connect with more people. I've started being able to talk to other people with mental health that want to do collaborations. And yeah, my account grew almost 100,000 people in the last week. So
yeah, you've been blowing up big time. How many views did that one get that you had? You just said that you went viral. Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so I know what you're gonna do right now, and I'll tell you.
I'm just curious, dog. Just tell me how many views you
mine had 1.4, which I know yours, the stitch you did of it, had much more, and I almost bet that's what you're about to talk about.
No, why would I? Look, that was a very sensitive moment for you, and in all reality, I kind of got caught up in it just because it pissed me off so much. I was proud of you for putting it out there and being that strong. I would never mention that I got literally twice the amount of views as you, but that's,
almost 3 million.
Yeah. No, but yeah, you've been growing very fast, man. I mean, I've been impressed, and I mean, the cool thing about it is a lot of people are coming over to the podcast and tuning into this fucking shit show that we have going on. But hey, is what it is.
And the other cool thing is we get to talk to another schizophrenic person today, so that's going to be perfect. But another really awesome thing that we should talk about is the fact that both of us, now that we're both essentially famous, we should probably get together and make some actual content. So we do have something going on in that matter, which I'll let Zach talk a little bit more about now.
We're talking about the trip, right? Just want to make sure.
Yes, Zach. Thank you for keeping up.
Okay. I just want, I didn't want to Say anything wrong. But okay, so we've been meaning to get together and do a collaboration for a hot minute now. And yesterday we put up a GoFundMe to buy a plane ticket and just some other stuff for me to come up to where are you at? Diet Canada? What is it? Like
Diet Canada? No, Wisconsin, you asshole.
It's basically the same thing. So I'm going to be coming up to Wisconsin, wherever the fuck that is, and spending about 8 days with Cody. We're going to get to do 2 shows live together. We're going to do a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm sure he will definitely regret this decision by the end of it, but it's going to make for some great content either way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which one of us gets sick of the other one first. But I am really excited to have you come out.
And the cool thing is people already met the GoFundMe goal, but we are trying to kind of finance some trips and maybe, I don't know, some interviews with other people in the area or whatever. So if you guys are still able to, please do go to the GoFundMe. The link is in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. And if you can help out, that's great. If not, we love you being here. And you are the reason we were here. So thank you all already.
Yeah, seriously. And I think you put it really well there. We are looking to reach that goal and exceed it, because then we can extend your stay out here a little bit. We can do some lives of the show, so we don't have to do it via camera and your crappy internet connection. We can actually be in the same room with my amazing setup and internet connection. And seriously, I am excited to have you come out and bullshit for a little bit, because I mean, how long ago was it we met on TikTok? We've been doing this show for like 2 months now, but we've only really known each other probably 6 months, and we've
probably
never
that.
Yeah, we've never actually met in person.
It's so funny you mention that, because I have so many people ask me. I mean, you get asked all the time, like, "Hey, were you, are you Shaggy or whatever?" But everybody assumes that we did prison time together. Like that's like their assumption, And it's almost to the point where it's like, fuck yeah, we that's where we know each other. God damn it, I mean, people either assume we're dating. They either think we're dating, which is weird because I don't date down, and or they think that we knew each other from prison. So.
I would rather that people think I'm Shaggy than think that I would date your Rob Schneider looking ass. But it is what it is.
Speaking of which, almost all 3 of the patches of your skin or your hair growing in on your face are coming back in a beard, so that's a good thing.
Why are you like this? Why do you live to hurt me?
Personal trauma.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But seriously, we have so much cool stuff going on. We're even looking at some possible sponsorships. We can't say anything quite yet, but we do have some things in the work, and we're just really, really excited to be able to continue to do this. If you want to support us, go check out our criminallymentalpodcast.com website, and also check out our merch, because we got some cool stuff, and we have some even cooler stuff that's going to be on there soon. #Gallowop.
I hate you so much, Cody. But on that note, honestly, you guys have done this was an idea, granted a good idea, surprisingly from Cody, to do this show, and you guys all showed up in droves to support. And even though we've only been doing this for a short amount of time, we've had such a great response from you guys. You guys are getting involved. You're tagging creators you want to see on the show. You're tagging other people that you've done audition videos. And if you can't support financially, that's totally fine. You can do stuff like leave reviews, boost our videos, leave comments. All that is great, and we appreciate each and every one of you doing it, honestly.
All right. And I know Zach loves talking about himself, but we're going to transition a little bit and talk about our guest for the day, because I'm not going to lie, I fangirled a little bit about this guest we have coming on, because the person, Zach knows this is true. I got very excited with the guest we have today.
A little bit.
Zach received a very late night Snapchat of me being like, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
So the guest we have today is Michelle Hammer, and she, I originally discovered her when she was on A Schizophrenic, A Bipolar, and a Podcast. She's done so much more than that. She owns a clothing line. It's called Schizophrenic NYC. She is a diagnosed schizophrenic. She currently does a podcast called Schizophrenia and the City. She has done so much to influence how people look at schizophrenia, and she's actually the person who motivated me to become a mental health advocate and start talking about my experience with schizophrenia. So I don't know if I've ever told you that, Zach, actually.
Yeah, is that true? Is that a true fact?
That is actually a true fact. That is not just something I'm saying for the podcast. Listening to Michelle being so open and honest about her experience with schizophrenia is the reason I started making TikToks. And it's not the platform she was on, but it was my own way of talking about schizophrenia. And so without further ado, I'm going to play a short clip and then we're going to bring on Michelle.
Nice.
Don't get up. Don't do anything. Stop what you're doing. Don't do anything. Stay in your bed all day.
I like her rings.
Hi, I'm Michelle Hammer, and I have schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental illness that changes the way you think, feel, and act. It's broken down into 3 separate categories: positive, negative, and cognitive. Positive symptoms don't mean they're a good thing. It's an add-on to your normal behavior. Things like hallucinations, delusions, and voices.
You know, I had so many ghosts and shadows inside of my mind.
A demon was perching on the end of my bed.
Negative symptoms take away from your behavior.
I showed no emotion and I was just totally out of it.
Cognitive symptoms make it hard to pay attention and hard to focus.
Their brain is just racing. They can't stop.
The pathology of the
That's really good.
is only.
Yeah, so this is just a short clip. If you guys want to check this out, you can literally just search for Michelle Hammer on YouTube and watch this entire WebMD clip. And I actually didn't discover the clip until after I had seen her podcast that she was doing before. And there's just so much good information on there. And she really does a great job at it, elaborating on her personal experience. So we are going to bring her on right now. Everyone say hello to Michelle Hammer.
Hey guys.
Michelle!
Hey. What's up? How are you guys doing?
Well, you know, we're doing pretty good. Zach's old, but I'm sure he's doing good.
That's okay.
That wasn't even called
not that
for.
old.
Wasn't even called
You're
for.
not that old. How old could you be?
I'm 33.
He's
Okay,
lying.
you're really not that much older than me, but I won't tell you my age
Look,
because then I'll be
no,
called.
I'm not
old.
dumb enough to ask either. I'm not dumb enough to ask either. Thank you for coming on the show, Michelle. I know Cody wants to jump right in because I have a grievance with you, actually, Michelle. You see, my life. No. I'll be gentle. My life consists of a pretty normal routine. I wake up, I listen to Cody Green bitch about how I didn't do something, and then he has to mention some fucking show that I don't know anything about. And it's cool, you know. I mean, it's kind of like when you have like a puppy, and you know, he gets excited about the door opening or whatever. You humor him. But I've heard so much about you, and it's actually really nice to actually communicate with you because at this point, the description of your fucking show has haunted my dreams. So this is definitely this is a pleasure, actually. So
Well, I'm glad to make your acquaintance.
uh-huh.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And like I was saying, I am so excited to have you, and it's really cool that we can finally connect and talk about, you know, our shared experience with this debilitating illness that, you know, so many people still don't know a lot about. So I appreciate you coming on today.
No problem. I'm so glad we got to chit chat and talk about schizophrenia. Why not? It's the talk of the town, you know? Everybody wants to talk about it.
Yeah. And like Zach said, I'm a little too excited. So I'm going to let Zach start by asking questions just so we can get in a role of a good, honest conversation about what it's like living with schizophrenia and your personal experience with it.
Okay. Let's roll.
All right. So first question. This is something that I've asked Cody about, but a true fact about Cody, he's actually worthless as a human being. So I'm going to ask you because his response wasn't good. I am someone who works with a schizophrenic person. And there are times that that schizophrenic person has episodes, hallucinations, whatever it is. As someone who is not schizophrenic, is, I don't know, neurotypical or whatever you call it, what is some advice you can give to me as somebody who wants to at least pretend to be a supportive friend to somebody who is going through an episode? Because I know it does vary from person to person, but do you have some tips out there for people who work with people who are schizophrenic who could help?
Tips for working people that work with people who are schizophrenic. Really, the biggest thing is you just got to be patient, because not everything is going to go the way you plan for it to go. You just got to be extremely patient and just let it happen. Like, you think you have a schedule, you don't have a schedule. It doesn't exist. Throw that schedule away. But yeah, patience. Trust me. That's what you need.
What if hypothetically I dislike the person that I'm working with?
Well, you could just not work with him anymore. There you go.
Yeah, but then I have to go back to only.
You don't like him, then he sucks.
I'd have to
just get rid of him.
Find another schizophrenic.
Find some other crazy motherfucker. Whatever.
Yeah, Zach would have to go back to OnlyFans, and that definitely wasn't paying his bills. So.
Oh my God! Do you seriously have an OnlyFans? Do you have one?
No. I cannot confirm or deny the existence of one currently. I can certainly say that has been a significant part of my income in the past.
Is there a schizophrenic OnlyFans? Could I make some money off being a schizophrenic OnlyFans?
I mean,
like what? You just fuck your hallucinations? I mean,
oh my God, that would be so funny.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that'd be so funny.
Did we just create a Pornhub category just now? I think we did.
Schizophrenia sex is when you have sex with an hallucination.
Oh my God.
What if you're like just under the covers? Then that's the whole
Love
thing.
it.
Yeah. Hallucinations there
Love
too.
everything about it.
Anything, right?
I swear to God, if I go on to Pornhub and find a shadow sex portion or something like that, I'm gonna lose my cool, you guys.
Wait for it. POV from the hallucinations.
Shut up. Oh my God.
And then in the middle,
blow
you
your
get
mind?
your cell phone to videotape to find out if it's an actual hallucination or a real person. And then, like, one time it's an actual real person. You're like, how did you get here?
Oh my God. I love that. That is hilarious.
This needs to happen. This needs to be
Here
a
we
thing.
go. Someone put in the chat, #schizofuck. Oh my God. That escalated very quickly, you guys. I'm not gonna lie.
But to such a great place. So
Oh my God, an amazing place.
I'm going to dominate that category on OnlyFans. Nobody take my idea.
No, you heard it here first. This is where it was born. 10 years from now, when that's 10 years from now, when that's like the main category, right next to like blue-haired girls and like twink, this is gonna be what happened. So,
oh my God.
I was going off my browser.
Hallucination. I'll explain the hallucination. This hallucination is a giant man from Tonga. Tattoos all over the body.
It's interracial too. I love it.
Oh my God.
Yes, interracial.
What is happening right now? Zach is literally laughing in to his squishmallow right now. Oh my God, guys, this comment, Zach, this comment. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh my God. Seriously, guys, that is hilarious. That might be the most laughed yet on the show.
They could have like a behind the scenes portion of it. It just gets worse. It's just like
you'd be like, he's just not participating the way I want him to participate.
Oh my God. Okay. Seriously.
the fluffer. Somebody get the fluffer.
Fluffer. Wait, is the fluffer also a hallucination?
Yes,
Exactly.
it is.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood. Oh my god.
It hurts. It hurts a little.
Oh, that is amazing. So seriously, I don't even remember what my questions were now.
I have such a hard time explaining to people what I do for a living, and this is exactly why.
I talk about schizophrenic OnlyFans on my podcast. I love how someone said this is so educational. Oh, seriously, that is amazing. Let's try to regroup a little bit here. So,
Okay.
Michelle, because you are on the Criminally Mental podcast, there is one story in particular that I would love to hear from you. Because you have a unique experience of having one story that involves the criminally and the mental of Criminally Mental. And would you mind telling us about that today?
Sure. Changing subjects. When I was a wee little 18-year-old girl in college freshman year. Okay, so yes, there was a 3-day snowstorm and classes were canceled for 3 days. So what are a bunch of 18-year-olds gonna do in college? We're gonna get really drunk in the dorms. And when you're not supposed to do that and people find out and you get in trouble and you think the best thing to do is to hurt yourself, and then girls who don't know you think kind of tell people on you, and then you're all in your room, your friends plus maybe some other people who you don't know, and there's a knock on the door and you say, hello, who's there? And they say, it's the cops. It's UPD, University Police. And then we're like, is that a joke? Why would UPD be here? So I open the door and I say, hi, is there a problem? And she says, yes, I heard there's a problem here, and bursts open the door. Okay. So she says, everybody come here. And we're all standing in a semicircle around her. And she's right there. And we're all talking. We're like, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need to be here. But then she goes, wait, everybody lift up your sleeves. Okay. So everyone lifts up their sleeves and she starts on her left and goes through everyone. No issue. I am the last person left and I have not lifted up my sleeves. Now, a person with a brain would have figured out the guilty party, don't you think? But no, this moron, this big, butch, gigantic, booted, disgusting, woolly mammoth moron keeps telling me to lift up my sleeves. And I say, can I just show you in my room? Which the door was right there. Can I just show you? No, lift up your sleeves. I go, I'll just show you in my room. So when I turned around to take a step into my bedroom, this woolly mammoth person grabbed the hood of my sweatshirt and slammed me on the floor. So I'm like struggling to get away. I had an older brother, so, I know how to fight somebody bigger than me. You stay on your stomach because if you flip over, then they have your face and they can pin you. So I'm staying on my stomach. I'm crawling on the floor. I'm trying to go under my chair, go under a desk. And then all of a sudden, I'm just stuck. She's stepping on my neck. And I'm like basically paralyzed because I can't move because she's stepping on my neck. And she put pepper spray right up next to my eyes and says, don't move a muscle or I'm going to pepper spray you. And I go, okay. And then she goes, put your hands behind your back. I go, you told me not to move, lady. And she's like, put your hands behind your back before I pepper spray. I was like, okay. And then she handcuffs me. So then we're like getting up and we're going around the room. She goes, lift up your sleeves. Like she still hasn't figured it out. And she's like, lift up your sleeves. I'm like, no. And I'm going around and I know how to fight people. I just do. I know how to defend myself, I should say. Because
is that the New Yorker in you?
The New Yorker plus having an older brother who took karate and he would practice all his moves on me. So I'm circling around and she keeps trying to get me and I just keep getting out of her lock the entire time while being handcuffed because she obviously was a very bad wrestler. But then she got backs me into a corner while I'm on the floor and I can't see anything because my eyes are closed and I kicked my foot out as hard as possible. And that is the story of how I kicked a cop in the face.
Yikes.
The first time I heard that story, I was like, I've had encounters with police. Luckily, it's never been when I've like really been struggling. And you always hear horror stories of people that are doing mental health calls and have to deal with the police. And so like this particular story, I remember it so much from the first time I heard it. And it just shows how unprepared some police are when dealing with someone who's really struggling with mental health.
I know, like seriously, I just don't understand. Like, why did she not? How could she not figure out it was me by checking every single person but me, and then I'm the one that doesn't want to show?
I think to be fair, we're talking about somebody with maybe a high school education and 4 months of formal training. That's about the equivalent of your middle management at Walmart, realistically. So we may be over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Of course I'm saying that.
She was an idiot. She was an idiot. And she was like 8 feet tall and she was disgusting and she's repulsive. And I found her on Facebook and she loves to hunt things with her like little son. And then I might have written something on her wall with a link to something about her. And then I got blocked. Maybe that happened. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I can't confirm.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but the fact that that person has a child makes me very uneasy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like that.
I think Zach made a really good point, and my biggest issue is the lack of training when it comes to mental health. If police aren't going to be able to handle mental health calls, we should have people specifically going out and dealing with mental health crises. Because everyone in the comments seems to agree, that cop definitely unnecessarily escalated that situation. And when you are dealing with someone with severe mental health issues, the last thing you want to do is escalate a situation.
Exactly. Like, why was I thrown on the floor? Like, why did I have to be thrown on the floor? Like, why? What logic was that necessary?
It wasn't, but I mean, we do have to keep in mind, and believe you me, I'm not defending cops here. I mean, I personally, my philosophy is, all cops are bastards, especially the bastard cop, whatever you're related to. But the reality is we don't train them or give them the tools to deal with this sort of situation. We literally send them to like a 4 to 6 month fight school. That's what it is. They learn hand-to-hand combat, basic procedures, basic law, and then we throw them into these complex situations where, of course, they're going to perform horribly. I mean, if you take anybody who's uneducated and untrained, let's just take Cody, for example, you put him in any situation and it's going to go poorly because he's not prepared for it. So,
we
need to have
Thank
people.
You for that.
No problem, man. So we do need to have, if we do expect cops to deal with the situation, we need to invest more time on them than we do people who go to cosmetology school. Cosmetologists spend a fucking year in school. Cops spend shy of 6 months. So there's a lack of training and education that needs to be addressed badly.
Agreed. Especially this was UPD, so it's university police. And if it's university police, like college kids, this is a big problem with college kids. They should be even more trained than official police officers. It was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I got in trouble. Yeah.
What did happen? Did you get arrested or?
I was brought to the psych ward.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, that's actually probably a really good point because Michelle just explained that it was university police. Let's talk about the number of people who experienced their first psychotic breaks or episodes in their college years. Those people should definitely be getting training on dealing with mental health. I would imagine that university police probably deal with a lot of mental health related calls. So that's definitely something that should be considered in their training.
Absolutely be considered in their training. It's ridiculous that it's not. And that on my disciplinary call, she gets on the phone and says what a horrible person I was. And then that I'm the best liar she's ever come in contact with. So nobody should believe anything that I say, which therefore ruined the whole meeting because everything I said, you have proof? How am I supposed to have proof? You didn't tell me to bring anyone. You didn't tell me to bring proof for anything. How can I prove anything right now? So nobody believed a word I said. What was new?
That's just ridiculous. I mean, I've never been in it. I mean, like my mental disorders that I have are very much so, trauma and situation related. I have PTSD, I have anxiety just from what I've been through. So I've never gone through like a psychotic break. That's never been something that I've really experienced. I have found my way to a county psych ward once. That was goddamn terrifying. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
The thing I was going to talk about also is just how terrible the experience of being brought into a psych ward can be, and why it's so traumatizing for people, especially because if you admit yourself, it's not always a terrible experience, and that's what I try to tell you. But I can't think of a single time I've been brought in and it wasn't traumatizing. And I don't know if it's necessarily the people working who are at fault, but it's just a terrible situation for everyone involved. And then we never talk about how traumatizing those experiences can be. And as 3 people who have all been in psych wards, I think we can all attest to that too.
Dude, yeah, because I came in and I had hurt myself, they decided to check my entire body to see if I had hurt myself anywhere else. I basically got strip searched. Like, it was just so embarrassing.
I remember once, because I mean, I was selling a lot of different drugs, mostly like heroin and stuff. And one time I overdosed, and when I was brought to the hospital, they had decided that it was a purposeful overdose. The reality was I just did that much on the regular, like that was just what I normally would do. But after they Narcaned me and everything, I got a 72-hour psych hold on me because they dubbed it as a purposeful overdose, that I was trying to kill myself. That was the worst experience of my life. I was 4-pointed to a fucking bed for the first, I think, 28 or 32 hours or something ridiculous like that. And the entire time I'm sitting there and all I can think is, man, if I did want to kill myself before, I'd certainly want to kill myself now. I mean, like, this has got to be the most depressing place in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see the benefit of being tied down. I don't see the benefit of restraints. I don't see the benefit of force on anything. I think it just is more traumatic than actually helping.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a final. Oh, go ahead, bro.
I was just going to say also that when it comes to jail versus psych wards, I know plenty of people who said they would prefer spending a few days back in jail or prison than spending a few days back in the psych ward. And it's tough because I go back and forth. I'm like, really one of the worst things about prison or jail is the lack of freedom. But in psych wards, it's like, not only do you have a lack of freedom, you're also treated like someone who can't take care of themselves, almost like a child.
Yeah.
Whereas
in prison, like a baby.
Exactly. Whereas in prison, I feel like sometimes you're treated like a criminal, obviously, but to be treated like a child when you're an adult is so insulting, especially since, like, me and Michelle, like, I'm sure if you've ever had an episode, people revert back to treating you like you can't ever possibly take care of yourself. And it's so tough to, like, live with that and then function 95% of the time and have people think you can't live your life regularly because you have trouble with 5% of your day-to-day life, or 10 to 20% of your day-to-day life.
It's really weird because somebody actually asked me that, I think in a comment the other day, like, is it difficult working with somebody who was schizophrenic or something like that? And my first thought was, like, first of all, 98% of this show is Cody. Let's get that out of the way. Like, most of what happens here is because this man wakes up and decides to do something. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. But it was the first time that it occurred to me that people do have that stigma and that stereotype with people who have schizophrenia, that you're not able to take care of yourself. Out of either of us, that'd probably be me. I can't even find a shirt. So there's that.
I had to call you today to put a link in your bio to the podcast.
Fake news, lies from the radical left. Lies from the radical left.
Everything he's saying is a lie.
Is a lie. I put every link in my bio. All the links, possibly the best links.
Seriously, though, it can be a bit dehumanizing, I think. And Michelle, I don't know how you personally feel, but I really get so tired of it. So like even right now I'm doing a TikTok live and I have people coming in my live who are doing the guys, leave him alone. He's schizophrenic. But then I also have people in my live who are trying to, make me believe there's someone in the room with me or someone behind me, because it's such an unknown, untalked about topic that people just want to be involved with it in some of the worst ways, I think, and I'll never understand it.
It's just pathetic.
So here's a question for you, Michelle. So I know you're somewhat new to TikTok, and I mean I know you're obviously known other places. You have a show that I've heard fucking everything about at this point. But one of the things about TikTok is that there's different sides to it, and you get different people, similar to everywhere, really. But for whatever reason, on TikTok specifically, you get these hardcore people that have opinions about mental health that should not have opinions about mental health. And they're always neurotypical people. Like Cody deals with all the time, like you just need Jesus. Like every day in his comments, you get you just need Jesus. You need an exorcism.
Yeah.
Which is
who's Jesus?
He was the first influencer, remember? He's the guy with the thing. Remember the thing?
The famous Jew, the first influencer, the black guy, the first influencer, the Jew. Jesus.
He was that guy from he was the guy from Palestine who did the tea stance and people got salty.
From Palestine. He walked on the water. Was it icy or something? I don't.
One time.
His mother lied or something about getting pregnant.
That's a girl who stuck to her story.
Sorry, I'm maybe taking it too far. I don't know. I never learned about Jesus. I just know he's the famous Jew. Who?
No,
Exorcist?
that would
Exorcisms? The movie? The movie? An Exorcism? The Exorcist? What is The Exorcist?
But have you ever encountered that? Have you ever encountered
people Jesus a lot? Oh yeah, Jesus will save me. I'm like, well, I don't know who Jesus is. Who's that guy? No, whatever. If Jesus helps you, love Jesus. Personally, Jesus doesn't help me, but somehow I'm still living. I do my own thing. I have my own spirituality, live my life, and I don't bother anybody else. Let me live. I let you live. Why you got to push Jesus on me? If you're giving Jesus to me, you're taking it away from yourself. Keep it. Keep the Jesus. Keep Jesus all to yourself.
Yeah, it is a pandemic.
I don't need an exorcism. I don't need that. Exorcism won't do anything for me because you need Jesus with that, I think. I mean, I never even spoke to a priest. I don't even know what a priest really is. What's a priest?
I don't know.
Whatever. Who knows? What's the difference? Monsignor? I don't even know.
And I don't know about you, Michelle, but I've actually spoken to some people with schizophrenia who were forced to get exorcisms, and their stories are terrifying. They've developed PTSD and all sorts of terrible things from this experience, and I just don't see how it can benefit anyone. It's not getting rid of schizophrenia by any means.
I really don't even know what goes into an or exorcism. I've never seen The Exorcist because it just looks too scary. But
it's actually a good movie.
I don't think I need that, and I don't think it would be a very good time. So anyone offering, you could offer it to somebody else who wants it. Don't waste your time on me. Not worth it. Give it to somebody else. You can help someone else. Not me.
So my next question for you, Michelle, because I get a lot of the same questions. What are the most common questions you get about your schizophrenia? And which ones do you enjoy answering and not enjoy answering?
Oh, ask me the most common questions I get?
Yep.
A lot of them are, what meds are you on? But I don't like to answer that question because I don't want someone to like take my medicine and something goes wrong. I don't want to be like bothered with that. Like that's just too much responsibility. So I don't like that question. Get that a lot. And then there's always, my family member is schizophrenic. How can I help him more? Things like that. The annoying questions. Let me think. The annoying questions are like, what was it like before you were schizophrenic? Well, when was before I was schizophrenic? When was that? I'm sorry, I don't know these years. All my life, I think I was schizophrenic. I don't know when it started. What are you talking about? Just because I got diagnosed doesn't mean that's when I had it. It's kind of a strange question. Or just stupid jokes. Like I have a pop-up shop that I stand on this New York City street, and there's like guaranteed old men for some reason always tell me this joke. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm schizophrenic and so am I. Is that even funny? I cannot tell you how many old men have told me that joke. Like it's the funniest joke. It's just not funny. Like stop saying that joke. Is it from some old movie? I don't get it. Always old men.
I've actually had that posted on my videos before, and I guess I didn't think about it. It probably is from something, or it's probably just
from something old. Something definitely old. It's just
That's
not
a
like
terrible joke.
people say stupid things. Or
I feel bad.
Like they'll comment on my artwork like nobody with schizophrenia could ever make this or even look at it. It is far too busy and has way too many details.
That's odd. Is that a thing?
What are you talking about? Like my artwork completely explains schizophrenia because it explains all the craziness and anxiety that goes on in my brain. So just because you say you're a social worker and you know this because you've worked with people with schizophrenia, lady, give back your certificate, degree, bachelor's, whatever it is, because you need to get fired because you're an idiot. That's what I say.
Do people really criticize your shit? Like, oh, you can't be schizophrenic.
Yes, a lot of people do. A lot of people. I've been called a liar so many times, and I'm like, who lies about having schizophrenia? Because you get so much sympathy, right?
Go on any of my videos of me having active symptoms, and you will find comments of people telling me that I'm faking my schizophrenia and lying on every single video.
I've gotten that I was lying on that WebMD video. A person said that I studied and I acted, and I was like, well, if I studied and acted, then call me Meryl Streep and give me a freaking Oscar, like please, because then as the best acting in the world, if I'm faking that.
I've always said that if I can trick my wife, who I live with and see every day, my schizophrenic mother, my psychiatrist, all my doctors, into believing I have schizophrenia, I deserve an Oscar. I really do.
Exactly. Yeah. My roommate at the time when I had gotten that first comment, my roommate was like, I live with you. Trust me. I know you're schizophrenic.
Yeah. My wife had a very similar response when I was finally diagnosed.
Yeah. Dude, everybody knew but me. Everyone.
Same here.
Yeah. They're like, oh.
So here's a question for you. What is one? Because I mean, like, I to be fair, I'm kind of still learning about schizophrenia because I have to work with somebody that is schizophrenic. What is one perception that is false about schizophrenia that you would just like to address? It's a false perception that you get a lot. People assume it's incorrect. What is one thing that kind of irks you that you'd like to address with that? Do a little awareness.
One thing that kind of irks me, I think it's maybe that I'm just incapable of somehow living a normal life. Like that I have to have a caregiver with me at all times, that somebody always has to be, like, I guess, taking care of me. I guess that's what a caregiver does. Or just that I'll never be able to manage myself. I'll never be able to live on my own. Like, how could I possibly live in an apartment and pay rent and have a job? Like, how is that possible? Nobody thinks that you can possibly be successful at all if you have like schizophrenia, because it's like, oh, schizophrenia. Oh no, like that's the bad one, the really bad one. Because I saw a movie, and that movie, oh no, they're gonna end up in jail or dead or murder somebody, or oh, I can't even imagine. Like, what are you talking about? You don't even know. So shut up. So that's a misconception. Movies got to stop.
That's probably the one thing that bothers. I mean, I'm not even schizophrenic, but like I said, I know Cody. I've been locked up with somebody who's schizophrenic, and something that bothers me is how many people assume that schizophrenia and violence go hand in hand. I've known and worked with a lot of schizophrenic people, and not one time, not a single time, have I ever seen a hallucination be anything but detrimental to them and them alone. It always affects only them, only in their environment, and it's terrifying to watch. Not one time have I ever seen them lashed out. And I'd love to know where that movie trope came from, because I don't think that's really based on anything.
Honestly, it's probably because when someone has catatonic schizophrenia, they might react aggressively if they're very, very confused. But it's such a small percentage of people with schizophrenia that do react with violence. A lot of studies have actually shown people with schizophrenia are way more likely to be the victims of violent crimes than to commit violent crimes. So this whole idea of schizophrenics being violent, and actually, Michelle, you're wearing the perfect shirt for this today. Her shirt says, "I'm mentally ill and I don't kill," and it's part of her clothing line. This would be a great time to mention, if you look at the tag down below, she is offering 10% off her store, schizophrenic.nyc, for some of her mental health shirts. And I think you have leggings and all sorts of other cool stuff on there.
Yeah, just code
wait, you got
TikTok.
leggings?
Yeah, I got leggings. Yeah, code TikTok, all capitals, one word, get you 10% off at schizophrenic.nyc. But yeah, I do leggings. I turn my artwork into leggings, and they're so freaking cool. They're awesome. You might look good in them.
God,
You should get a pair. You wear man leggings?
No, I wear women leggings, but if I don't look good in it, my boyfriend definitely will. So yeah, we definitely need to get a pair of those.
Okay, good.
Yeah, real
You're
talk,
gonna
real
you're
talk. I
gonna
just-
love them. I have a variety of colors. It's
Oh my
amazing.
God. It's like Hanukkah Kamerli.
Oh, shalom aleichem.
But definitely check out schizophrenic.nyc and use that code TikTok to get 10% off your purchase. That's super awesome. And you did send me a shirt. I was going to change into it today, but Zach liked how much I was dressed up today. So I did not change into it, but I do appreciate the shirt. I wear it a lot of the time. And when I do, I try to tag you in those videos. But yeah, Zach, did you have any other questions prepared? Because I got a few more, but if you got a couple, I want you to have the chance to put them out
Bro,
there.
I got so many questions, dog. I'm just waiting for you to
So
stop
that's a
talking.
no.
How about that? No, questions galore. First of all, so you mentioned that you do public speaking, right?
Yes.
Has there ever been a time where you've had like symptoms or hallucinations while public speaking? And if so, how do you handle that? Like what goes on there?
Only when really unprepared, maybe. I've just kind of been like standing there trying to speak, and then all of a sudden I kind of go a little delusional or hallucinate that I'm in a different place because I'm trying to think, like remembering back to old speeches where I did a good job. So I start thinking that I'm at that place, or I knew where I was, and I kind of forget where I am. But then I'll just refocus and remember, snap out of it. I know what I'm doing. Did I know my mic? There you go. Sorry.
It's a nice hit to the mic. Damn.
Yeah, nice as the mic. But no, I have done a little wonky, but if I make sure that I'm super prepared and I know what I'm going to do and everything's fine, then I can usually just handle it just fine. Make sure that the stress is away.
All right. So I actually have another question for you. I was wondering, because I get a lot of people who confuse DID or dissociative identity disorder with schizophrenia. Have you ever gotten those questions about how many personalities you have, or like people who don't understand that DID is something different than schizophrenia? Because it's something I encounter a lot on TikTok. And I didn't realize that was a confusion because I grew up with a schizophrenic mother. So I always knew that there was a difference between schizophrenia and DID, or what used to be known as multiple personality disorder.
I've gotten some questions, but not too many. People have just asked if it's the same, and I say that it's not. But I haven't gotten too many questions about that. I guess you've gotten way more, but I have gotten questions, but nothing too interesting, I guess. I think mostly just you gotten them more than I have.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if that was something, because people on TikTok tend to be younger, and I was wondering if there was a gap in education there, or if people just really thought that they were the same thing. So I was interested to know more about that.
I get it now. Yeah. People have asked.
What is DID? Is that the thing that everyone? Is that where you have multiple? I mean, I'm trying to be as nice as I can about this I don't know how to phrase it. I feel like if I say the wrong word, I'm gonna get canceled.
Here, let me just explain it to you, Zach. DID
Hey, thanks,
is,
dog.
yeah, no problem. DID is dissociative identity disorder. It used to be known as multiple personality disorder. So that is where people will have multiple personalities. I believe the correct word is alters. And it's something that I've parts. Yeah. So it's something that
No, I'm sorry. There's on Hulu. There's a documentary called like The Many Sides of Jane, and it's a documentary about this person who has DID, and it's actually very interesting. And I learned a lot about it. And she calls them her different parts.
Okay. Yeah, and it's something that I still am learning about, and we should definitely look at getting someone with DID on the show because it's something that I don't know a lot about, but I get a lot of questions about because I'm a mental health creator. So,
pick me.
Yes, Zach.
I know a creator with DID.
Oh, do you? Perfect. We'll have to see if they'll come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Michelle, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your current podcast that you got going on.
Oh yeah. So currently it's on YouTube. It's called Schizophrenia and the City. And I host it with Cecilia McGow, another fellow schizophrenic lady. And we really just talk about our lives with schizophrenia, different subjects like the psych ward or dating or sex or just talking about New York. And while we have schizophrenia, and we kind of just let it go, talk about it. Anything, questions asked, kind of like what you guys are doing, but differently. I don't know, whatever. Schizophrenia in the City. Find it on YouTube. It's fun. It's cool. I don't know. I wish I had more momentum right now to get it even better to talk about, but it's really, really interesting. It's really fun. I really like it. It's a lot of fun. I said that 400 times, but it's Google. Check it out.
That actually reminded me of a question because I've asked Cody this before and he's unable to answer it because he's basically inept. When it comes to because his schizophrenia developed while he was already seeing who he eventually conned into marrying him. Have you experienced dating with schizophrenia? I mean,
yes, I have.
Is that something? I'm not trying to get too personal, but like, do you broach that subject at a certain point in time? I mean, because like I know for me, coming from being a felon in my background, there are times where like if I'm just starting to date someone, I'll be like, hey, you should probably know this. I'm kind of in exile from a couple countries, and I can't really leave the state. You know, like I know there's like comes a point in time where I need to bring that up. You know, so is that kind of a similar thing or?
For a while, I wasn't saying anything, and then like the most recent person, I showed her that WebMD video, and they're like, "Oh, why'd you just show me that?" I was like, oh, "Okay, great, that works." Right? Didn't even care. What I really noticed is that the more people I tell, like they really don't care. No one cares. They know you, so what? Finding out that about you, that it's just like whatever. It's like I feel like the stigma, the taboo, the whole thing, most of it is just blown up, and a lot of it is just so misunderstood. When somebody knows you first, they kind of understand that you are not that stigma that they really believe. I mean, that's what I've experienced, really.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I've gotten to the point now, and because of my TikTok, I mean, people know me as like the CEO of schizophrenia on TikTok. Like I'm just like, that's where I got well known from. And so when it comes to like my everyday life, people know me for that, and people won't even really reference it. And I really like being able to like live my life and not have it be my entire life, and not have people constantly bring it up or ask about it. Or it's the more you talk about it, the less stigma there is. And I think that helps everyone with schizophrenia, which is why I like really appreciated what you were doing when I first discovered your original podcast and, you know, your videos on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We are getting,
I don't know if you knew this, but he's a fan.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've seen some of your content before. But we are getting to the last 5 minutes here. So we were going to open it up, if you're comfortable, to some questions from our audience.
Sure.
yeah, so if anyone who's watching live has any questions, go ahead and throw the comments in there. I'll pick a couple for Michelle to answer. Michelle, I just wanted to thank you again for coming on the podcast and on such short notice too. I really do appreciate it. And it was such a great conversation, especially the schizophrenic OnlyFans conversation. I'm really looking forward to listening to that and posting that clip on TikTok because I'm sure that will do amazing.
I have no idea how I'll ever recover from that. To be totally honest, that was
conversation. That was the funniest conversation ever.
All
Find
right,
me on schizophrenic OnlyFans.
Find me on OnlyFans.
Oh god.
Oh, someone said apparently it already exists, but I don't know if I believe that or not.
No, disagree. Fake news.
I disagree. Someone's making that up.
Yeah.
I just saw a question. I'm just trying to find it again. Okay, here you go. So this person asked, does schizophrenia affect part of your brain that can cause hallucinations and sounds? So I think they're asking if it affects a specific part of your brain. And I don't ever get into the scientific questions because I don't know that portion of schizophrenia. I just know what it's like living with it. So I don't know if you know a little more.
Do I? I think you think a little too highly of me, perhaps, because I have no idea either. I don't know, but you know who knows is Google. To this question.
I mean, does Google even really know at this point?
You straight answered that question with like, no, but you know what, bitch, Google's free. Like that's like legit. That's legit how you just answered that fucking question, and I love it. I'm here for it.
All right, so here's a good question. Beth Hughes asked, what is the best way for an emergency response provider to better understand schizophrenic patients?
Well, I would say, don't panic, don't yell, don't scream, don't freak people out, don't grab them, don't step on them, just chill, just relax,
I could actually hop onto that. I spent years in EMS. Beth, in your basic training at like B school, they teach you to 4-point right away whenever you feel there's an immediate danger to yourself. You need to understand there's usually not a danger to yourself. You need to treat this person as somebody who's going through an episode in need of counseling care and not of defense of you. So approach it from that point of view, that this is something that's an emergency that's happening to them, not to you. So there's not really usually a call for restraints.
All right, perfect. And then the last question here, and this is one I get a lot, and I never quite know how to answer it. But Yvonne here said, are auditory hallucinations the same as having constant negative inner voice? So I know a lot of people on TikTok always ask me about my hallucinations and compare them to inner thoughts. What is your look on that? Like, how do you view that? Similar, not similar?
I mean, there is some similarity, but I think what makes the difference is how can you live your day? Is it so intrusive that you can't live your day? Are the thoughts so horrible you can't leave your house, or you can't do anything? You can't drive because you can't stop visualizing them or hearing them, and it just doesn't stop. Like, can you live your life or can you not live your life? That's really the difference. Your quality of life.
Great. That is a great answer. I do really appreciate having you on the show. We are coming into an end here. But last reminder for everyone, check out Schizophrenic NYC. Check out some of the videos that Michelle has done in the past. There's some really good content out there. And Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun. I'm going to set up my OnlyFans, so look for that.
All right. Coming soon to Schizo OnlyFans.
I love it so hard. Thank you for showing up, though. Thank you for coming on. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me.
And just a reminder to everyone listening, do not forget to check out our Criminally Mental merch. And don't forget to check out the GoFundMe Zach currently has up for his visit out to Wisconsin so we can collaborate and make some content. Zach, any last words for the people?
No, that was a very smooth, like, soulless plug of our product. I like that. That was good. That was key.
Bringing in that money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you all next week at the same time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.